What is community? How many of us can really access community? Community includes you. It celebrates your presence. It notices your absences. Community honors who you are. There are friendships that sustain me across time, despite the fleeting feeling of full schedules and deadlines, through life trajectory pivots, through total failures, through renewal and transformation. I am not where I was 10 years ago. Hardships, heartbreak, and humility have been uncomfortable companions along my yoga journey. Ceremony, movement, community. January, February, March. March becomes the time of year that I create this deeper awareness of what my meditation practice will be this year, even if it means I start alone. I'm beginning to see what seeds I foresee blossoming throughout the year and towards my business with my connection to home and my future chapters. Accessibility and knowledge, navigation, these are the things we need to complete our own narrative about our personal practice. It is a means to meet people where they are at. As a facilitator, I recognize my complicated role in creating, facilitating, and moderating a space like this during incredibly challenging times. As I build this space, I consider the societal implications of my intentions, my impact, and the imprint I make within this community. I will continue to learn how to best advocate for the pathways that we co-regulate together. And as we enter and navigate through the month of March, we continue our study on the chakras. We examine the solar plexus. Community allows you to carry both a given family and a chosen family simultaneously. It is so easy to slip into hatred, out of alignment, and into dis-ease. Dis-ease is such a negative word. Negativity itself is taboo in the yoga space. But how do we carry these dualities in our practice simultaneously? The good and the bad, both as teachers and as students. It would be a lie to say that the world is not being pressured into complacency right now. So our experiences within the yoga and wellness spaces during this modern age have perpetuated this physiological anxiety. It is human nature to evade negativity, but then how do we sit in that negativity without losing who we are? In our practice, in our work, in our relationships, in our relationships with our body and mind. I think back to the quote by Albert Camus, "One must imagine Sisyphus happy." One must imagine that throughout the eternity that Sisyphus experienced within his purgatory, that could someone have at least helped him just once? That perhaps he experienced one magnificent sunset, a moment of life-giving pursuit. Because when we envision our own suffering, we imagine the intensity, duration, impact, the sensation, temperature, the feeling. Suffering is relative, and yet we all know it in different temperatures, in different hues, different feelings. A lived reality is a true testament to suffering's techniques and manifestations. Yoga has become an element in my life capable of transforming some deeply traumatic moments of my practice and lived experience. Likewise, meditation complements my yoga practice because it provides that portal of insight about myself and my environment. That is deeply healing. Lived experience provides insight about the healing nature of a personal practice. A novice must begin at the reference pages that eventually open their mind to studenthood for life. Navigating the yoga space is so important, but it becomes performative to the teachings, to the origins of something that transcends centuries. There's importance in honoring the traditions that have shaped communities since pre-colonial times. Sangha and community is a place where we can take inventory of our misalignments, of what lingers in our conscience and in our journey. Whether you are a beginner or well-practiced, you remember who stayed, who shared advice and lived experience. We see a different version of our Sangha members, and that recognition consistently evolves. Sometimes we experience a clear cut from community. Sometimes there's an amicable split with boundaries. Sometimes there are sabbaticals. Yoga, as the love of my life, stays present. This love allows me to share lived experience, technique, perspective. My role as facilitator has evolved tremendously over the past decade. It's allowed me to realize that my gifts arrive to those who need it organically. There is a capitalistic urge within the wellness space that insists that their product and their technique is the next best thing worth investing in. Money shouldn't be a factor when it's the best interest of personal health and well-being, but money is a factor. And these practices are readily available to everyone once the foundational knowledge is passed on. In a functional practice that fits the life of those seeking to lay down their social roles and to move, to breathe in community. The practices speak for themselves. Sometimes they scream. Sometimes they whisper. The triumph is when the practice elevates you. Momentum ought to be observed from rise to fall, to open and close with each inhale and exhale. The moment we take a step forward, and each time we brace 4 steps forward. Our abilities in practice with forethought, anticipation, stability, homeostasis, calm, gives us the balance, perseverance necessary for our vessel, body and mind. When properly exercised alongside a Sangha, movement in practiced union is a work of art worthy of reverence. So I recognize myself as a facilitator who is only partially responsible for the success these teachings provide. It is the dedication and mindfulness of the student who invites a yogic and meditative practice into their lives. Willingness to participate and discover more about your own personal practice is where every novice starts. Willingness to participate is what encourages a seasoned practitioner's adherence to ritual and ceremony. And here we are in community.